The result of this weekend's games could determine whether Arsenal go on to win the title or hand the advantage straight to Manchester City. Because while everyone is looking at the title race and the Etihad game between Arsenal and Man City is looming, this Bournemouth game could decide it, especially with Man City having to go to Chelsea the day after. Arsenal have got the chance to go 12 points clear, and I'm actually going to be at the Emirates on Saturday for the game to watch it live. I really feel that this is massive. On paper, this looks like a straightforward home game, but these are the exact games that decide titles. A half 12 kickoff, a lot of noise around Arsenal and whether they'll throw away their lead. 2 cup exits in their last 3 matches. The pressure is on to get 3 points, and this could be a banana skin for Arsenal because Arsenal have got everything to lose and Bournemouth have got nothing to lose. This is why it makes them a dangerous opponent. They currently sit in 13th, but it doesn't paint the whole picture. Interestingly, they've only lost 7 games this season, which is the 4th lowest in the league. They only have lost more games than Man City, Arsenal, and Man United, only by 1. So with seemingly nothing to play for, they can easily come to the Emirates on Saturday and cause an upset. And they're a very good side on their day. Iriola is a very good manager. He sets his team up very well. They're definitely more than capable of getting a result. Arsenal cannot let this happen. I'm at the stage now where I know that the football is not going to improve. We're not great to watch, but we sit where we are because of this style. It's really just about getting over the line now and the mentality up here in getting it done. It doesn't matter how Arsenal do it. Just do it. Just do it. But this is where it gets really intriguing. The 9 point gap that separates Arsenal from Manchester City right now is actually quite a hard one to gauge. You think in normal circumstances that 9 points at this stage in the season would be enough that you could safely say that Arsenal could get it done. But City have a game in hand and Arsenal still need to go to the Etihad where many would fancy City to come out on top. So in theory, the gap could be seen as 3 points. Worst case scenario for Arsenal, that is Man City winning their game in hand against Crystal Palace and beating Arsenal at the Etihad. However, with that game in hand, as they are playing Crystal Palace and they are still in the Europa Conference League, the game is probably going to get rearranged in maybe game week 35 or 36 later on down the line. This is good for Arsenal. With the games getting counted down, it's all about scoreboard pressure now and making it optically damaging for City. So I'm going to explore some of the possible scenarios of what the Premier League table might look like after this weekend's crucial games. Arsenal beat Bournemouth and City drop points against Chelsea. If this happens, I really feel like Arsenal will have one hand on the title. You'd be looking at a 12 point gap if City were to lose against Chelsea, or an 11 point gap if they were to draw at Chelsea. Even for City, who we know they can hunt down teams, they've done it in the past, I think that this would be even too much for them to claw back. The next scenario, both Arsenal and Man City win. If this happens, nothing really changes, but at least it'll be another game ticked off and a game closer to becoming champions. Pressure would still be on, but it would mean Arsenal go into the Etihad game with a 9 point buffer. The pressure will be on City to win. Arsenal could afford a draw, but even if they did lose, it wouldn't be as damaging if the buffer wasn't as big. Then there's the worst case scenario for me. Arsenal drop points against Bournemouth and Man City beat Chelsea. Now this, in my opinion, would flip everything. If Arsenal were to lose and City win, the gap would be 6 points. But with Arsenal going to the Etihad, City would fancy themselves to beat them there, making it 3 points. And then if they win their game in hand, then we'd be level. It would change absolutely everything. So yeah, I'm going to be at the game. Watch out for a red-headed Irish Arsenal fan going absolutely off his game, trying to support his team and try and get the win. I really do feel like team needs the fans for this game. You know, it's a half 12 kickoff. Those kind of games can be quite hard to get up for sometimes. You know, it's that early, but I think the fans really need to understand what's at stake here and be the 12th man, make the difference, support the lads until the final whistle, because there's no guarantee that this is going to be pretty. I'd love to say here right now that we're going to blast Bournemouth, beat them 3 or 4-0. It's going to be a nice, comfortable afternoon, but we know Arsenal, we don't do it the easy way. So yeah, get behind the team, and come on, like we can do this. We can do this. But I'm actually expecting quite a nervous atmosphere. I know it's quite cliche to say this, and it might sound quite obvious, but I really do think the first goal is very important in this one, because I think if it goes our way, it could really relax the crowd, and we could, it would just calm us a bit. It wouldn't be as panicky. Whereas if Bournemouth were to get the first goal, you could see like the energy in the crowd, it would get quite nervous, and that could easily transport onto the pitch. And that's exactly what we can't let happen. So yeah, this game for me is just absolutely massive. I know that the Manchester City game at the Etihad seems to be the one that everyone's talking about, but I can't even think of that game really at the moment, because I'm just really focusing on the Bournemouth game. Even since the international break, I know we had the FA Cup game and the Champions League first leg in the quarterfinals, but all I've been thinking about since the Carabao Cup final defeat was the Bournemouth game, and just our need to get 3 points. We have to respect Bournemouth and show up. They seem to be the draw specialists. They've got 15 draws in their 31 games so far in the league. A draw here just would be quite damaging for Arsenal. They have got to get to 3 points, because I honestly believe that if we slip up against Bournemouth, then that just hands the advantage straight to Manchester City. And I think that they would probably catch us, if I'm being brutally honest. We've got to be at least 9 points ahead going into that Etihad game. So yeah, Arsenal, what have you got for me? And people, what do you think? Will Arsenal beat Bournemouth? Will City beat Chelsea? Leave me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching Let's Chat Football, and I'll see you next time.